So mainly we'll discuss like what is Linux and some of the Linux distributions and how does it directory structure look like, and so dealing with shell and some of the common Linux commands. Okay. So what is Linux? We almost everyone knows this thing. So it's one of the free open source operating system. Anyone can download and install on their laptops or desktops. All the types of almost all the Linux operating systems you can download and install on your laptops. So without any cost. Okay. But if you want any enterprise support, meaning when you are using all these operating systems, all of a sudden there is some security issue or some files got corrupted or something in the file system. So if you need a technical assistance, then the enterprises will go for the commercial license editions, commercial license editions or enterprise license editions. That's why RHEL, Red Hat Linux, Enterprise Linux provides a commercial license on them, and they will provide the enterprise support. Okay, so same like, I mean, if you observe the Linux and as well as Hadoop, they both will be like on the similar norms. They will work like, so both are open source, Apache Hadoop and your Linux operating systems, and the commercial vendors are like Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and there you will find Cloudera Hadoop, Hortonworks Hadoop, all those things. Okay. So all Linux operating systems are based on the Unix type operating system. The underlying core operating system is called as Unix. Okay. So open source, it's so popular. So even if it is open source and free of cost, even if you are not getting any enterprise license support, if you observe in many companies, in many organizations, all servers, many big servers or any kind of servers, if you take, other than your regular hardware, like a user-friendly hardware, other than user-friendly machines, anything that you are planning for as a server. So if you might have observed, that would have been your Linux operating systems only. So one, because of its very tight security, Linux is virus-free, almost we can say, and it provides you the multi-user and multitasking and multiprocessor capacities. On the same machine, you can have multiple user accounts, and all of them can log in at the same time as well. So that's how even in our Hadoop, we maintain one edge node. We call that edge node a client interface node. Okay, so I will explain you that the role of the client edge node once again there. So all our machines in Hadoop, the Hadoop cluster, they are all Linux based. Okay, any server you deal with, they all will be Linux based. Okay, and supports multiple hardware platforms. So these are the reasons why it's so popular become. Okay, and some of the enterprise or some of the distributions that you can observe. So mostly you will see these three mainly: Red Hat, CentOS, and Ubuntu. Okay, Fedora might be a bit less. Yeah. So in early days of the Hadoop evolutions, like where we didn't have all these quick start VMs and all, so we were used to install Hadoop on Ubuntu operating systems and practice there, and set up a clusters on Ubuntu operating system. So now both Hortonworks and as well as Cloudera recommends us to go with either CentOS or Red Hat. So again, coming to the Linux operating system types, you will have mainly two types, we can say. So one is RPM based Red Hat package manager. So you will have a .rpm extensions for all the installable files there. The way you have .exe files for your Windows installations, you will find .rpm files for Red Hat and CentOS. Okay, and Ubuntu based operating systems, you will have a .deb extensions. So they are all like a Debian based operating systems. So they will be they will have that extension. Okay. So coming to the operating system. So the innermost part of your operating system is the kernel. Okay. The core part of your operating system is kernel, is called as kernel. So that deals directly with your hardware and your RAM and your scheduler. So anything that you submit through your terminal, like or your command prompt, so all those commands will be sent to your kernel, and kernel will read and understand if there is any request for IO request, if there is any IO request for input-output request for a file from a disk. So then kernel is responsible for opening that connection to that hard disk and read it from the hard disk. Okay. So this, we'll be submitting all our commands through the shell or the command prompt. So all those commands will be sent to kernel, and kernel will send those requests to or make calls to your hardware if it is hardware related. If it is some processing related, just internally it will calculate with the help of processor and will read the data through memory and sends the results back to shell. So kernel, it is a core of an operating system, interacts with hardware. So this is the medium or the bridge between your software and hardware. So whatever you write in a shell is nothing but a set of instructions, right? Some set of code, some set of lines of code, which is nothing but software, and it has to deal with some hardware. So now the kernel acts like a bridge between the software and hardware. And whenever you start a Linux operating system, it is the first program to get loaded into boot while booting. So this is the first program that gets loaded into RAM memory and gets started. And this is the last program when you are shutting down your operating system. When you are turning on, when you are powering on your Linux operating system, this is the first program to get started. And this is the last program to get closed when you are turning off your operating system. Okay. Now, let me turn on that because it's going to take some time. So I will load this Kickstart VM 5.7 so that it can get loaded while we discuss some of the 3D concepts. Okay. So it has 4 GB. Number of cores, I make it 2, as we discussed. And the other properties like 4 GB and 64 GB still have the same default configuration. So let it get loaded. So let them take some time. Yeah. So that's the core part of it. Now, coming to the directory structure. So file system, how does a directories look like and how files are stored in that? Okay. So in Linux operating systems, all the files, whatever the files that you are having in that operating system, so they all will be stored in one single rooted hierarchical file system. Meaning, if you are coming from Windows background, you may have your files in C drive, you may have files in your D drive, so where you have to point through the drives. But in your Linux operating systems, you don't have that kind of drives concept. Everything starts with root. Okay, so root is the topmost folder. You can say, you can consider that as a topmost folder inside which all other folders exist. So under this root, you will find all other folders like a bin folder and sbin folder and user folder and temp folder and opt folder. Okay, so some of the main important folders. And conf folder or etc folder. So under /, which is the root folder, you will have all the first level, we can call them the first level system folders, first level system directories. You have to understand the directory structure as well. And yeah, I think it's 1 second. So for example, if you see this, the first level folder, some of the folders, home as well. So in this, again, you will have a subfolders. So if you take some example like under home /home, so how many ever users that are created on that operating system, all those user names will be present in under /home folder. So by default, if I have like 3 different users, if I have a Siva, Hadoop, and Ubuntu 1, if I have 3 different users, I will have 3 different folders on this home directory. And when I log in with Hadoop user ID, so my default home directory will be /home/Hadoop. And any files that I save in my home will be saved in this directory path. Okay, any files that I save under Siva's home folder, so they all will get stored here. Now you can access your files by specifying your file paths in 2 ways. So one by absolute file path and relative file path. So absolute file path, if I am going to specify /home/Hadoop / whatever the file1.txt. Okay, and in your quick start VMs. So the default, the user that gets logged in is Cloudera is the username with which you will get logged in. You don't even need to enter your password. Okay. So if you observe the file system here, so just go to, either you can click on computer and browse through the file system. So that is one option. Okay. So let's get that terminal loaded. I will kill some of the services so that it can free up some RAM memory and it will not be that slow. Yeah. Yeah. So either you can provide the complete path starting from the slash. So any path that starts with slash is known as the absolute path. Okay. Anything that starts. So let's say if I'm currently in this slash home, already my control is in slash home slash Hadoop folder. If I give cd file.txt command, okay, so if I give this cd file.txt, then so since this path does not start with slash, then it looks in the current directory in which your control is right now. Okay, so if your path does not start with slash, then it is called as relative path, relative from the current directory, current working directory or present working directory. Sudo GPS, let me kill some of these unnecessary applications. Yeah. Sudo kill -9. I don't want bootstrap server. I don't want 3553. I don't need 4407 for now. Yeah, 4407 and hmaster also 3428. Thrift server 3693. Don't need a HRegion server as well. Okay. Yeah. So the one way you can browse through your file system on your desktop, you can find the home folder. You can browse through this by clicking on this. So one disadvantage with this is, so if you click on any folder, it will open in a new window. Okay, every time it opens in a new window. See, many windows. Okay, and that's why don't use this, and don't use the computer also to browse through your files. So from your desktop, don't navigate through your folders. Okay. The recommended option is to go to applications in the system tools. Okay, accessories, you can play with them. So these are one of the text editors. Gedit is one text editor, and VI Improved is another text editor to write any text files. Same like your Notepad or Notepad++. Okay. And this is Archive Manager, like your WinZip or WinRAR application. And these are some of the folders, default folders that comes with at each user level. Okay. And these things you can explore on your own. By default, Adobe, all these things got installed and everything, whatever you need. Okay. So under System Tools, you'll find File Browser and Terminal. And this one is your this one is your Mozilla Firefox. Okay. Your internet web browser. Now, so by default, if you open the file browser, it opens your home directory. So this home symbol, you can observe that this is your home directory for Cloudera user. Okay, so that means the directory path, and even when you log in into a terminal, so by default it points to your home directory. Let's say if I type ls command, ls for listing all your files on Linux in the current folder, so it lists the same files that you can see here. Cloudera Manager, desktop downloads, see, desktop downloads, all these things. The Cloudera Manager, the same files it's listing down. So it points to that current working directory. You can also print that working directory, so you can get to know. So with whatever username that you have logged in, so that /home/username folder will be your default home directory, and into which both your file explorer and as well as your terminal gets opened. Now, so inside this, there is nothing too much explain. This is the desktop folder. Okay, and documents, anything that you want, and downloads folder, anything that you download by default gets downloaded into this. And this the Eclipse folder where this Cloudera guy has installed Eclipse IDE for us in the same home directory only. And some lib folder, this is not mandatory, but he has kept some required jars here. That's it. Okay. And all these are, this is the workspace for your Eclipse. Yeah, so all these things are like self-explanatory. Now let's see the actual file system. So this is your root. Okay, so you are into this root. You can open this way. You can see this is the root path. So / we are into root directory now. If I open into this new tab, then it will show. So under this, there are various directories, right? So some of these directories, you guys have to keep in mind the purpose of these directories. Okay, so it's mandatory to know the roles and responsibilities of these directories, mainly for administrators and even for developers. At least you should know some of the directories like home, Cloudera for the home directories of your developers roles, and some temp directories sometimes to clean up your logs or something. So my point is that it's better to know the importance of at least some of the folders. Okay. So in this root folder, you mainly see bin and etc, home and lib64 and sbin, okay, and opt and temp, user and var. So these are the highlighted ones are the important folders that I can say for that we have to remember. So out of them, if I need to start with here, so bin and sbin, okay. So these are the folders that contain the binary files. Binary files with respect to Linux means they are executable files. So these are the default bin files, and these are some other system bin files. Both are purpose is same. The folder's purpose is same. They both are just executable commands from the terminal. So if you observe any command that we have run, even the pwd or see the pwd command is available in this bin folder. So that's what I executed here, right? So pwd. So anything that is executable from your terminal, the default commands should be part of your bin folder. First, any command that you type in on your terminal, first it look for that command, the executable command or the file in /bin folder. Okay. So similarly, if you want to create a directory, make directory you have here. Okay. And if you want to move a file from one location to another location or rename a file, you have mv command, move command, and similarly gzip, echo for printing. We'll go through all these commands anyway once again. cp for copying, okay, chmod, chown, so all these commands. Okay, now if you look here, you don't have a cd command, I think, here. No. So even then, the cd command will work, right? cd, let's say if I want to move to documents, cd documents. Now if I list down the files, you can see. So if there is any executable file command that is not present in bin folder, then the next order where the system looks for that is your sbin. Okay. So even in this, if the executables are not there, the binaries are not there, you can find them in user bin folder. You can it then looks in user bin folders. So cd, drive, and any applications, user applications that gets installed, you can see, you can find most of them. You can see C++ command and cc command for compiling the C++ programs. Okay. Yeah, even our hdfs command that we have seen yesterday, it's present in this only. Okay. hdfs, hive, hbase, all these commands are available. So when I run these commands from the shell, so they get picked up from here. Okay. So again in this, if you don't find some of them, so it will go and look into sbin. So the purpose of bin and sbin is mainly to maintain the binary files. Okay, so the root level binary files will be maintained in bin and sbin, and the user level, so binaries will be maintained at, so in the /user folder, /user /bin or /sbin. And again inside this, so local /user /local, inside this again you can find bin and sbin folders. Okay, if there are anything specific that are commands that are available, you can find them. Okay, all your binaries executables in /bin /sbin /user /bin and /user /sbin, mainly these 4 folders, and you can check for the other 2 also, /user /local. And this user, you have to capture this, or you have to identify this. This is not USER, it is just USR, not USER. Why I am specifying, highlighting this is that in your HDFS file system, the way you have /home. So let's say if my user ID is Cloudera, if I log in into my Linux operating system, my default home folder is /home /Cloudera in Linux file system. In HDFS, so my default home folder will be /user /Cloudera. Sometimes people were getting confused that this user and this user are same. It's not. If it is USR, it is your Linux folder paths. Okay. If it is USER, so with that itself you can identify this is a HDFS folder name. Okay. And any of your HDFS directories, they won't be visible both in your file explorer. They won't be visible in your file explorer, and they won't be visible in your shell ls command output also. Okay, generally when you type ls command, it lists down all the files and directories in that folders, right? So even your ls command cannot display your regular ls command. Your Linux ls command cannot display your HDFS files or folders. The same way your file browser cannot display your HDFS files and directories. Okay. Now, so that is the importance of bin and sbin directories. Okay. Next, let's see the etc folder. Suppose you have installed some applications like HDFS you installed, Hive you installed, HBase you installed. Now, so the executable file is copied into /user /bin. As you can see here, HDFS is there, Hive is there, and HBase is there. All these commands are there in /user /bin. Okay. Now, so if you want to change the configuration parameters for those installed applications, let's say you have installed your Hadoop and you want to change the default configurations for that. You can find all your configuration related files in /etc folder. And inside /etc, you will find all the applications that you have installed so far. You can find the configurations files for them. And few directories that you have to remember here are like /etc/Hadoop slash etc slash Hadoop slash etc slash Hive slash etc slash headspace if you want to change anything, and mainly one more thing, slash etc slash init.d. Okay, so init.d maintains all the services that you have installed through parcels. So it maintains all the services that installed through parcels, and that will get initialized whenever you restart your machine. All these services will get invoked. Okay, let me show a couple of these directories. So first let me show slash etc slash Hadoop folder. This is the place where you want to change like some of the Hadoop configuration parameters. You can change here. So if you observe here slash etc slash Hadoop slash conf folder, you have mainly 4 site.xml files. Here core-site.xml, hdfs-site.xml, mapred-site.xml, and yarn-site.xml. These are the 4 site.xml files that are related to the configurations of your Hadoop services. Okay, these two are related to mainly HDFS and core, or I can say this is related to HDFS, this is for MapReduce, this is for yarn, and any common properties for these three will be stored in core site. Okay, and even Hadoop env.sh. So this will contain Hadoop environment configuration properties as well. You can open it in gedit and you can see all those properties that it is having. So as of now, not any active properties. If you want, you can enable like export Hadoop heap size, name node initialization size, all these things. You can write your properties in there. So this is purely for Hadoop administrators. Developers won't have access at all. Okay. So first of all, developers will not even have access at all. Okay. So let's not worry about that for right now. Now, similarly, you can find slash etc slash Hadoop the way you can find Hive also, Hive conf folders, Hive site.xml file, Hive environment SHL files, and same way you can find for HBase, you can find for Impala. Okay, so Impala needs all other site.xml files present in this. So that's why you can see all the shortcuts there. And inside your con, this is the one. These are the HBase related configuration files. So, and any file that you observe with this symbol, arrow, this symbol, that is known as, it is a link or this is a shortcut for another folder. Okay. So for example, if you switch to, if you want to see that, slash etc slash HBase ls minus l. See, so this conf folder that you have here, so this is a conf folder. This is a shortcut or a link for another folder. Whenever you see this symbol, so this is meaning this is a link for another folder. Same as like creating a shortcut in Windows, here we call it as a link. Okay, so now this link is pointing to slash etc slash alternatives slash HBase conf folder. So its actual data folder is this. Okay, so for this folder, a shortcut is created in this /etc/hbase folder. Okay. Now, let me go back to the file system. Now, inside your home folder, how many other users that you have on this operating system, those many home folders will be here. Let's say if I have Siva user, I will find one more Siva folder. If I have Madhavi folder will be here, another user. If I have Gopi folder will be present here. And all your user specific folders will be present in that home directory only. And any directories that are highlighted here other than the file system, they all will be the subdirectories from your home directory only. Okay, so this desktop, documents, music, pictures, all these are user specific directories. They will be specific to each user. So all these files will be accessed from the user. And lib folder, this is not much used for developers, at least I can say. Anything that are related to libraries or any jars, anything supporting files that are needed for your installed applications, they will be present in /lib. Okay, any user installed applications you can find in /user/lib folders. And all our Hadoop related tools you can find in /user/lib. Okay, so this is the folder you can find all our applications. So your Hadoop, see, Hadoop folder, all Hadoop related jar files and all other files like Hadoop lib files and Hadoop bin files. All the jars, all the libraries related to Hadoop, you find in /user/lib/Hadoop. The same way for Hive and same way for HBase. You can find HBase, Impala, Hue, Uzi, Pig. All our Hadoop related tools gets installed in this /user/lib folder. Okay, Scoop, Spark, Solar, everything. So that way that lib folder is important. So we rarely deal with the outside, under the root folder, lib folder. Under the root, lib and lib64, we rarely deal with these folders, but we mostly use the user specific lib and lib64 folders. Okay, and OPT is for installing any optional software. Okay, let's not worry about the other folders. So OPT is for installing any other optional software. And for all administrators, if it is installing it through the Cloudera manager, so all Cloudera manager related parcels and everything will get installed through /opt/Cloudera folder. Parcels repository, CSD. So there is nothing available right now here. And if you want to install any application, so your own software, so which can be installed on your Linux, you can copy that. Generally, all your Linux installable files are like binary files, so bin.tar.zz files. You just have to extract them and set the directories into the installation script. Okay. So this is any additional software that you can install here, and here So next important folders that you should remember is temp folder, all temporary files, same as like your temporary folder in Windows, and USR folder, which maintains the ones that I have highlighted till now. So if you look, even the USR folder looks pretty similar to the root folder, right? Even here you have bin and sbin. Here also you have etc folder /user/etc. Here also you have lib folder. Here also you have temp folder, sbin folder. Okay. And share folder, user share. So this is something that you want to share with all other users. Any applications that you want to share across users, you can have those applications installed in this. Okay, and all these concepts that I am highlighting right now, it's mandatory for administrators, both Linux administrator and as well as Hadoop administrators, to have idea on this. But for developers, just having a basic idea is fine. Okay, you don't need a very detailed. And any log files or Hadoop generates or the applications writes. So all those things you will find /var/log folders. /var/log folder. You can find Cloudera SCM agent server and Impala logs are here, and HBase logs are here, and all Hadoop logs, Hadoop HDFS logs, Hadoop MapReduce logs, Hadoop Yarn logs. Okay, you can see all those things. Uzi logs, scoop, everything. So for example, if you check here, so these are, so this is Hadoop HDFS data node log file, and similarly you can see this is for name node log file. This is for secondary name node log file, .log file. Okay. So any log files related to your applications, you will find them in /var/log. Okay. Now I want to give a pass break here. So just check with your pulse whether you are catching up whatever I'm telling or not. Okay. So some of the folders that you have to remember: /etc/Hadoop for configuration files with respect to Hadoop, and /user/lib/Hadoop for all the dependency jar files with respect to Hadoop, and /var/log/Hadoop-HDFS and all other services for log files. Okay, and /bin or either this or /user/bin folder/bin/Hadoop is the command that gets executed. Okay, and /home/Cloudera is the default, your home directory, and /temp is the temporary folders that maintains all your temp files. And anything that you installed optionally, like if I want to install a some separate editor, okay, so generally, I mean, when we install our Eclipse or something, I install in /opt folder. And if you want to install IntelliJ IDE, you can install the one folder. You can create one folder here, and you can install that, or any other application that you want to install. Okay, so this is at least the minimum required, the folders that you have to remember. Okay, and one more thing that you have to remember is /etc/init.d, which contains all your services that gets initialized at the start of your operating system. So if any of your services are not running, if you want to start them or if you want to stop them, so here are the service names that you can find. Okay, so Hadoop HDFS name node or Hadoop HDFS data node. So let's say if I want to know whether my name node service is running or not. So one option is that check that in sudo JPS. So you can find 2512 is the process ID and name node is the service that is running. So, but suppose if you want to check with from the services point of view, there is one more way, alternative that you can check this command, Hadoop HDFS sudo service Hadoop HDFS hyphen name node status. Okay, so Hadoop name node is running. So this is the command, service sudo service Hadoop HDFS name node. So if you want to start it, suppose if it is not running, if you want to start by using the start here, you can start that service. If you want to stop it, you can use the stop command. Or if you want to restart it, you can play with restart. Okay? So the four options that you can play with is service, sudo service, service name, followed by four options, four valid options: status, start, stop, restart. Okay. Sudo service, your service name present in /etc, present in etc /init.d folder. Okay, init.d folder, followed by four options like either status, if you want to check the status, or if you want to start it, start, and if you want to stop, if you want to restart. Okay, again, all these commands or all these things are needed for administrators. So I mean, if you observe, like today's session it's a mandatory for Hadoop administrators. For at least having a basic idea is sufficient, more than sufficient for the developers. Generally, again, in your real time, developers will not have rights or access to any of these commands, like the sudo service or /etc/init folders. All these folders you will not have access. You will have access only to this /home/Cloudera or whatever the username that you have. Like let's say if you have Madhavi as your username, /home/Madhavi is the folder that you will have access to, and @max/temp folder. Okay, and all others are. So for now, while at least your training period, since you have access, you can explore, have a good idea, understanding of the internals of your Hadoop as well. So that's why I'm trying to give you all these things. Okay, so let me take a few seconds break here. Just wondering, all of you also facing internet connection message, or it's just at my end? No, I am good, I'm fine. So I have some, fine, okay. I think most of are like fine. Raj, if your internet is slow, maybe you can check from your end. Okay.
Shiva, one quick question.
Yes, I'm stopping for your questions only. Yep, you can ask your.
So instead of specifying each service name, if you want to check what are the services that are up and running,
yep.
Do you do that in real time as a developer?
No, we don't do that.
So
we don't have access to this sudo command at all. If there is any service that is not running, that is not at all your job. Your administrator should be responsible for that. If you find like any of the commands that are not working, so you can immediately send emails to your admins team, so they should respond back to them.
So what is the command, what is that that you give to check and see if all the services are up and running at one go instead of specifying each service name like that?
This one I have shown you yesterday and today also, right? Sudo JPS Java.
Yeah.
So
isn't that this JPS developers don't use this, right? That's what you're telling me.
Yes, developers will not have access to Sudo JPS. Will not have. All these services will be installed at a root user. Okay. Again, the same way you have the root folder in Linux, the root folder is / right? And coming to the users also, there can be n number of users, but there will be a mandatory user. That user is called root. Okay. And most of all Hadoop applications or softwares or Hadoop related tools will install at root account level, okay, root user level. So anything that installed at root user level, if you want to access, you have to access them through the sudo command. So sudo means do as a super user. So we also call that root as a super user. Sudo means do as a super user. There is some concept behind this. So if I want to, along with root user, if I want to give some administrator rights to few more users, then there will be a file where a list of usernames can be added to that file, and from that file, all the users will have the administrator rights. So if they can use the sudo command, sudo service name, status start, stop, restart. Okay. So this, if you are into Cloudera user, if you are already into your root user, then there is no need of sudo. You can directly, your actual command is JPS. Okay. So for example, if I switch to that user, so we can switch to users using sudo -su switch user. So I got switched into the root account. And one basic thing that you can observe here is that, so whenever you start your terminal, so it shows a prompt here. So in this square braces, you can observe that the first part is your username with which you are currently in. So right now I switched into root user. That's why it is showing you root. And what is the host name? This is the user. First one is the username at host name. Host name means your machine name. So what is the name that is given to this machine? Okay. Host name. If I type host name, so this is the host name. Since it's lengthy, it printed only half of it here, and space followed by in which directory you are in currently. Okay, so it's currently in HBase folder. Okay, the relative path, the latest directory, it's printing there. And let's say if I cd into home directory, so it prints the /root is the home directory for root account. So this root account folders look bit different than any other user directories. Let's not worry about that. Now, if I type the JPS command, see the same. I don't need the sudo prefix. Even if I want to check the service, sudo service, sudo is not needed. Hadoop HDFS name node. So sudo is not required. For you root user, sudo is not required. If you are with any other user, but your root has given you administrator rights, then you can use the sudo command. Okay, and in your real time, you will never get sudo access. Okay, so this is all for during your training if you face any issues, so that you can have a basic knowledge on starting your services, stopping your services, and to check whether all your services are running or not. So this is to make yourself both admin and as well as developer, at least for your training period. So because you'll observe some services are not running, or if you want to check what of the services are running or not running, so these commands will be helpful. Okay, so keeping that in context, I am telling you all these commands. So anyone coming from non-Linux background, just from Windows background, so they might feel with difficulty just understanding in the first session itself, but it's very easy. You just have to spend 2 to 3 hours on this. That's it. Even whenever people are migrating to Linux operating system, they just take a crash course of 4 hours or 5 hours. That is max enough. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Even if it is very silly, I don't mind, because this is the very basics. You are going to use this Linux file system day to day, every day. I want you to be understanding how to browse through the files, how to browse through the directories, how to what are the directories that you have to remember, how to check the services. And anyway, we'll go through the commands, the Linux commands now. But before going there, I want to check the pulse of each one of you. Amit? So let me go one by one, at least. Amit, do you have any question on, or are you clear on this? Let me put this way.
Shiva, I joined a little late, so till now it's okay, but I'll go through the video again. So if any questions, I'll let you know.
Okay. So I can say like you're comfortable, right? You're understanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Even you can ask these questions tomorrow, as Pawan was telling. So I want to check some fresh guys like who might not be having that experience. Venki?
I'm good.
You're able to understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And Ramanan?
Yeah, sure. It's good. I'm good here.
Okay. Gopi?
Sure, I am good.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I hope, yeah, that everyone is on the same page. Okay. So these are the directories and their explanations for them. So bin boot device /dev contains all the device files, and boot will have boot up routines that get started. So when system gets booted, okay. And optional software, root, administrators, home folder. Okay. So next, the importance of shell. So shell is again like a bridge between your user and your operating system. So inside, like kernel is a bridge between hardware and your software, and this shell is a bridge between your user and your operating system. It's a command line interpreter, a bridge between kernel and the user. And types of cells. You will find a different types of cells in different operating systems, but you can be least bothered about those types. So mostly you can stick to the simple cell or bash shell. By default, it comes with a bash shell. Okay. Let's not worry about the internals of K shell or C shell, all those things, just for your namesake. So you can identify, so you have these. There will be a minimal, there will be a slight difference in the shell scripts if you are using a different, Fedora Linux operating system, where your C shell will be the default shell, and some other Mandriva or Mandrake or some other Linux operating system where K shells will be default. But the operating systems that you deal with are mostly CentOS, Red Hat, or Ubuntu, so in which bash is the default shell type. So you don't need to worry about all others. And anything that we run, all the commands that we see now, so they all will, for bash shell, they work very well with the bash shell. Okay. So Linux command basics. To execute a command, type its name and its arguments at the command line. So here, so ls minus l slash etc. So if you break this command, ls is the command name, and these are the flags or the options for the command, and these are the arguments. So till now, so I was running that ls command. So ls minus l, so I didn't give the paths. If I don't give the path, so it prints the current directory. So if I just type the command ls, so I got the results. So but ls command is optionally taking some additional flags or some additional options. They will give you even more details about the results. Okay, so just for example, ls is listing down the files and directories here, and ls minus l, along with listing down the directories and files, it also displaying the all other details like the permissions and the user, the how many files are this is having, who is the user and in which group that user belongs to, and what is the file size, and when was it last created or modified date. So this is a long listing. Minus L is for long listing. So in long listing, you will get all these extra details as well. Okay. So here, this is the username, this is the group name, and this is the size of the file, and this the date and time when it was modified or created. Okay. And there is a bit more on this permissions. We'll discuss slowly. Okay. Yeah. So ps all is a command to check your Unix processes. JPS is for checking the Java processes. So all our Hadoop services, so most of our Hadoop services are developed using the Java framework only, right? So they all will be Java processes only. So that's why we use JPS command to check all our Java services. And PS command to check the Unix processes. You can check this way. Now, so this is a one single command with options and arguments. You can even concatenate or so combine couple of commands. So the result of your first command will be passed as an input to the second command, and the second command results will be passed as input to third command. Okay. So here, let's say PS all. PS all is to list down all the processes. Now here, so if I want to check if how many bash services are running, like, okay. So PS all grep, or one simple example is like sudo jps. Yeah, let's from here you can check. Grep is for search, okay. Grep is for searching. So it extracts that line that matches this keyboard. Okay, what I'm trying to do is sudo jps grep name node. So then yeah, you can see a couple of the services are running with this. So this is also another way that you can check your services. So the result of your first command is input for your second command. And final result will be printed on your shell. Okay. And Linux command types, let's see, some file handling commands and text processing, and some of the system administration, process management. Generally, these two are rarely needed. Even the archival and network related commands also rarely needed for developers. Okay, so mostly you will be dealing with your text processing and file handling. So let me try to cover them quickly. So to create a directory, mkdir, I don't need to show an example on this. mkdir/directory name, and similarly rmdir, and this is your assignment, that practice at least one example on all these commands and show me the screenshots or send me the screenshots for them for tomorrow or day after tomorrow session. And I'm again reminding you, we do not have session, we don't have session tomorrow, we have session on day after tomorrow. Okay, I mean, I have some personal work tomorrow morning, so yeah, I will try to avoid this ad hoc skippings. So this is mandatory, I couldn't able to avoid. Okay, so that's why I'm taking off tomorrow. So mkdir for creating a directory, rmdir for, like, you can see, you can, if you can spend 10 to 15 minutes, you can practice all these directory, all these commands. Okay, let's say I did created a directory, change into that directory cd, and if you want to copy any files into that directory, let's do that. So copy, take from your home directory /home. Yeah, you don't even need to type the complete paths. So if you type half of the, or the prefix of the path, if you press the tab symbol, it autofills. Okay, and let's say anything Cloudera Manager, this file is there in your home directory. You want to copy this into your test folder. Now test is present in home again, so this will get copied into test. If you see now, so inside ls also have this Cloudera Manager file. So this is the cp, and move is for renaming this, like so we don't have a rename command. The move itself is for both renaming and as well as moving a file. Move Cloudera Manager to, so just test. Now if you see, this is the test now. Okay, or if you want to move it into another directory also, it's the same move command. Yeah. So in ls command, some of the attributes or some of the options that you should remember are like ls lists all the files, ls minus a. Yeah, let me show you the difference. Yeah, this is cd, and if I don't give any path, by default it goes to home directory. And if you see here, the home directory is being represented with the tilde symbol. So if you observe this tilde symbol, that means that is your home directory. Home directory is also represented with this tilde symbol. Okay. Now ls just lists your files, and if there are any hidden files in your Linux, all your hidden files in Linux will have a prefix of dot. All their names start with dot. If I type ls minus a, it lists down all the hidden files also. So if you observe here, dot means a current directory, dot means your parent directory. So in ls minus a output, for any directory you will find these two. Okay, dot is for current and dot is for parent. And here if you see dot bash rc, dot bash rc is one of the hidden file. So this is your shell initialization script, meaning before, whenever you start your new terminal, so it reads all the commands that are present in this dot bash rc file, and then it opens up for you. So if you want to set any variables here in this bash rc file, or any paths, any path environment variable, class path environment variable, or any home environment variables, you can set them into your dot bash rc file. Okay, so this is one of the hidden file. So to view all the hidden files also in any directory, we use ls minus a. And ls minus la, long listing. So this gives you long listing. This gives you, along with all the hidden files, it also gives you the other details like the permissions and the files inside this, number of files inside that, and this who is the user and what is the group and what is the size of it. So by default, if it is a directory, the default size will be 4096 bytes. It considers only the directory size, folder size, but not the file sizes inside that. Okay, don't get confused. And this the date and time, so last modified. Now, so ls minus la you have seen. So if you want to see the time-based sorted order, you can have one more option. You can see Feb 19 was the oldest file, and the latest file is August 8th. Just now I created this test. So these are sorted by time. And if you want to reverse sorted, like ls minus reverse sorted order, you can see the latest files in the bottom. Okay, so here the previous command we have seen all the latest files at the top. If you use R, you can see at the bottom. Okay, and ln is the command to create a links between files. So I have shown you one shortcut there, right? So that way you can create links here, ln and test1 pointing to /home/ Cloudera /test. So hard link not allowed for directory. No such file or directory. If you don't know how to use these commands, so a man command will be there that will give you manual for that. Okay, so you can see, so ln, so -t target your link name. Okay, meaning your target directory and followed by your link name. This is the syntax. Control Z. So hard link not allowed for a directory. ln minus soft link is also there. ln minus s. Let's see. /home /Cloudera /test /test. So test1. So now this link has been created. ls minus l. If you check this test1. Test1 is now a link to this test folder, and this is a shortcut. Okay, same as like, so going there into test folder. So test we have created in the home directory, right? Make a link. So all the commands that I'm trying to show you in the terminal, so you also get them through your file browser, file explorer also. During your training period, it is okay. Even if you do it through all your file explorer or file browser, but slowly you have to understand them through the terminal as well. But not all these commands needed. At least you need a make directory. Even make directory is not needed. cp, ls with options. Links you rarely create. Yeah, inside a folder, if you want to search for anything, let's say find dot means current folder, -name, search in the names of the files, star.java. This gives you all the files, .java files in that. Okay, or if I want to list down all the jar files, find /user /lib/hadoop. So in this, if I want to list down all the jars, okay, star dot. See, these are the jars in that folder. So find your folder name in which you have to find. So what you want to search. Star is for regular expression, star.jar. It looks for all the .jar extensions. Okay. So that's the importance of find command. And remove directory for deleting a directory, and remove file for removing a file. And you have to be very careful in issuing rm-r command. -r is for recursive removal, so that deletes the directory and as well as its contents as well, its files as well. And so history is the command that gives you the history of all your commands. Sometimes this will be helpful to check back, long back, some 2-3 days back, you have typed some command and you forgot the syntax for that. So you can check this. So history, and look back, and what is the commands that you have run so far. Okay. And pwd to print the current command. And who am I? Just to list down who is the current user, logged in user, you don't even need these two commands because the terminal itself will show you the username, right? So this is the username. So you rarely need those two commands. And PS tree displays all processes running in the system in a tree format. And PS is all the Unix processes that are running. Any help commands, the same way, man for getting the manual, pinfo, like a process info or something. Info is also again another help command. Info space command name. Okay. Now, if you have a file and if you want to see the contents of the file, cat Cloudera manager. See? So cat is the command to display the contents of a file. So these are the contents of a file from your terminal. This is the cat command to view the content. Echo is to print, or this is same like your println statement. Okay, echo I like Hadoop, that will get printed as it is. Grep we have seen just now, some time back. It is just to search for a keyword. And WC is for word count. WC minus L, it counts the number of lines. WC minus W, it counts the number of words. WC minus C, it counts the number of characters. So let's say if I do the same thing here, so WC minus L, I will get to know the number of lines in this file. So this is mostly needed for testers to collect some statistics. How many input lines, how many lines are there in input files? For Hadoop testers, this command will be useful. And how many words are there? 618. How many characters are there? So 5387 characters are there. I hope it is making sense for everyone. I'm not going that speed. If you guys feel like I'm going a little faster, you can stop me. Okay. So all these are system administration commands. So out of them, yeah, ch mode is one of the important one. So very, very important one. Ch owner, we rarely bother about this, or ch group, all other commands. And yeah, I don't bother about them much. We don't really use them. Now ch mod, before even explaining the ch mod, I have to explain this, the permissions here. Okay, so ls minus L, let's just take your home directory. Yeah, is everyone on same page? Yeah. Okay. So ls minus L, if you see the first column, this is a 10 characters length. Okay. So if you observe here, the first character in some places, it is hyphen. In some cases, it is D. In some places, it is L. Okay. So hyphen means it is a regular file. Okay. It is just one regular file. D means it is a directory. So L means it is a link. It is a shortcut. So that is the importance of the first character, first byte in this 10 digits. Now, if you observe this remaining 9, it is RWX, RWX, RWX. Right? Hyphen. So, color codes. Yeah, these color codes, don't worry about them. They are like, so they are just the files that are color coded and the directories having a different color. So yeah, so don't go by the color codes. Those are not needed for us. Okay. So now in Linux operating system, to make your security so strong and robust, we have mainly 3 types of roles. For any file, you will find 3 types of roles. They are like the user and the group and others. Okay, we call combinedly all 3 together. We combine all these 3 together with all. Okay, now let's put this aside for some time. So user is the one who created that file, and group is the one. So if he belongs to that particular group, let's say there is a file that is created by an HR, and he want to give permissions on that file for all that HR group, but not for others. Okay. Now, let's take Hansel is the one who created a file like, so employees.txt file, and he is having all the employee names and details and everything. And so in his HR group, okay, is having Bipin and other users also. He want to, he is also part of that HR group. Okay. Now, so I am other user. So if I am talking about, so in this HR group, let's both Hansel, Raj, and Bipin are there. Okay. So why you have these 3 different roles? And in others, let's take my name. I have 0. Now, if Hansel creates a file, employees.txt file in some location, let's assume he created in /user/ some test, some employees.txt file. So now he is the owner of this file and he is the user of this file. And whenever you type ls-l, the first 3 characteristics of your permission, so leaving the first character, the remaining first 3 are related to the user. So this RWX conveys the permissions for this user. So R means read, W means write, X means executable. So now Hansel is having all 3 permissions: read, write, and executable. Okay, and at max you will have only these 3 permissions on any file or any directory: either read or write or executable, or all 3 together. So we don't have any 4th permission type. Now Hansel created this file, and he also wanted to give that accesses to his HR group, so that whenever he is on offline, so all other users, Raj and Bipin, can work on this file. So that's why he has given that on the same file RWX. So now even Raj can read this file, Raj can update this file. So write permissions means update, delete, and everything. Okay. And he can also execute this file if it is a executable file. Okay. Now, so for other users, let's say if I am other user, so Shiva or Madhavi, if I take, so Madhavi can read this file, but she cannot update this file or she cannot delete this file. So that is how we control the security for files, permissions for files. Now, If you want to change these permissions, we use this change chmod, ch modifications. So now chmod, you can give so 3 different ways for user. Let's say if I don't have a write permission for group also, then hyphen is there in place of write. Now if I want to give access to user and access to group, the write permission. So chmod g plus w for /user/test. This way. This path will give here. Okay. Now, if I want to give it for others also, for others, O. For group, G, for others, O, for user, U. And in case if you want to give for user, group, and owner the same write permission, others, the same write permission, you can even give A instead of UGO. You can even give A plus W, all. Okay. So, and if you want to give executable permissions for all, A plus X, or executable permission only for others, O plus X. And if you want to remove a permission, O minus X. Okay. Let's see a couple of them here. Now, I have given by mistake all the permissions to everyone, to owner, to the user, to the group, and to others also. Now I want to revert those permissions. Chmod for others, I want to remove write and executable permission on test one. Now if I type ls minus l test one, how come? There's a link, that's why it's behaving a bit different. Let me show you this on test. ls minus l. See, so here this directory is having, let's say for group there is a write permission, for others there is no write permission. Now so with this command chmod, for others I removed write and executable permissions. Write was not there even earlier, and executable is removed just now. Okay, it became for others, it became just r hyphen hyphen. If you want to remove that permission also, you can remove minus r. You can see others minus r and ls minus, it's not getting updated. Seven. So another way of read permissions for others, why it's not getting updated. This is a directory, it's a test file. This is a file, we should remove this. Sudo chmod, let me see. It's not getting removed. Something wrong. Okay. The other way of doing this through plus or minus, we also use numerical symbols. Here, for read permission, we give 4, numeric value of 4, and for write permission, we give numeric value of 2, and for executable permission, value of 1. But instead of giving 4 to 1, we specify this as 7. 7 means all read, write, executable, and 5 means only read and executable, read hyphen executable, and 6 means read and write, there is no executable, and 4 means only read. Okay, so this is how we give. Let's take now, so chmod 774 or 775 on this test one, on this test. Now if I type the same previous ls command, 775, where am I changing this things? Like this folder I'm changing. Let me take a file instead of this thing. So in this chmod, let's say if I give all 777, so that means everyone should have all other permissions, right? So all 777. For user it is 7, and for group it is 7, and for others also it is 7, all the permissions. And if you want to remove the write permission, so just make it 775. So now the write permission for others is removed. And if you want to remove for group also the write permission, make it 755. So even for group, the write permission is removed. Group and as well as others. Okay. So this command is needed. Mostly in your Linux file system, you might not use this, but in your HDFS, you use this command. Even in Linux, why you use this? Whenever you create any shell script, a fresh shell script, let's say a test.sh file is created, by default on this shell script, it will not have executable permission. So you have to add a plus x, or you have to give the executable permissions like by giving 755, meaning, so 55 means read and executable, and owner will have anyway all the 3 rights, and group and others will have the executable permissions. So only if you give, then this file will become executable. Okay. And SU is for switching the user, I have shown you, and password is just to change your own password. Okay. And DF to know the disk free or display the file system, and DU is the disk usage. Okay. DF minus H. So if you specify, so how much disk is free, how much is used. Used is 8.3 GB and this much, and size of temp FPS and all these things. Available still I have 44 GB, and used percentage is 16%. Similarly, disk usage minus H. Minus H is for to get that in human readable format. Otherwise, you will get in the bytes. Okay, bytes you will not be able to understand. So disk usage, you will see all the files in the file system, how much space they are occupying, how much memory. So they all may not be needed every time. Okay, and Yeah, let's not worry about too many things here. So control R and clear and export, these three commands I will explain. So control R is to search in the history. So I just now pressed control R. I can search for the commands now. Let's say ch, I typed ch, it is showing you the suggestions from the history. Okay, so I frequently use this command, control R. Okay, so that is one command. And clear screen, clear is to clear your screen. Export is to create any variable, environment variable. Export, let's say, export test equal to some path. Okay, so /user /lib/Hadoop. Okay, so now this path is available in this environment variable, test environment variable. So I'm exporting this variable to the system, and this will be available in the system now. So whenever I want to print the value of it, whenever I want to access that value, I can just refer $test. See, I just printed using the echo, just I got that path. Okay, and head is just to view the top 10 records or top 10 KB of the data. Tail is to see the last 10 KB of the data. And kill is the command that we use to kill some of the processes there, right? Sudo kill -9, those things. And SCP or SSH sometimes used to log in into another remote machine and copy a file from one machine to another machine. Okay, so these two commands I will try to show sometime else. Let's not worry about it right now. wget is to download any files through the terminal itself. Just wget and give your URL. It downloads that. And same as ipconfig in Windows, we have ifconfig in here to know the IP address of your machine. So this is my IP address, this machine's IP address. Okay, and these are some of the date related commands. So echo date plus %y -%m %d. So it displays the date in this format. So whatever the format that you ask for. Okay, only %y date %d gives in this format. These are date related commands. And to play with your text, if you want to edit any of your text, so either you can use the gedit or nano or vi. So these are the options that I suggest for you. Gedit, you can directly edit using right click. So just open with other application. Here gedit. Either you can, so this is through File Explorer. So if you want to edit through gedit, you can, and if you want to edit through Vim, you can edit through this. So this gedit looks pretty similar to your Notepad++, I can say. It has color coding, color highlighting feature also. Okay. Yeah, but through terminal, if you want to do, I suggest you to go with nano. Okay. So nano parcels. So this is the terminal. Inside your terminal itself, if you want to change anything. Okay, I just added something. So any comments here? We'll go. So Control X for exit. So at the time of exiting, after you make your changes, it will ask to save your changes or not. If you press yes, and it will ask for the name, the file name into which you want to write. So don't change the file name if you want to overwrite. If you want to write everything into a new file, you can give your name here. Okay. Now, if you check cat parcels, you can see that the newly added line there. Okay, and similarly, you can even play with VI editor, VI parcels. So here also you can do that. But here, if you want to do anything, first you have to press insert, otherwise you will not be able to. So I just press the insert keyword. So now I can type anything here. Okay. And if you want to save, first you have to press the key escape and shift colon, W for write and Q for quit. Write and quit. And if you don't want to save your changes, just quit, remove W. Okay. If you want to write and quit, then do this. Then if you see this, you can find hello there also. Somewhere in the middle I have written this, right? So here also you can see this. Okay, so that is about this key. And grep is for searching. And few points about shell scripting, these things, conditional statements. Yeah, maybe I will spend some time later on shell scripting. Yeah, because if I push all these things in one go, it might get overloaded for you. Okay, I'll spend some time later. So till now, we just practiced. You can consider even the grep command is covered. Yeah, shell scripting, I will try to take you sometime later. Okay, so this much of commands is sufficient for start getting started with your HDFS commands. So we'll see the shell scripting sometime later. So any questions? Are you feeling complex? Because coming from a different operating system in one day, you may not be able to understand everything, but it takes time. But all these, there won't be at max more than 20 to 30 commands that you are going to use. I mean, forever, I can say. Okay, as a developer, you'll not be using not more than 20 commands. Just have to practice them. That's it. And understand the directory structure. So that is what all we discussed today. So understanding the directory structure and practicing some commands like make directory, create a file, and if you want to create an empty file, just give some nano test2.txt. It creates some empty text file. Write you one on the terminal. Control X. Yes, save. Just save. All these files handling commands. Okay, at least you should be good at this VI nano commands and cat, make directory, CP, anything related to file handling, changing the permissions for the file, those things. Okay, is it so complex or you are comfortable with it?
It's comfortable for us. We need some practice on that.
Yeah. So don't get scared when you are coming for the first time into Linux. It is not rocket science. It's just a matter of spending 2 days. Okay. Venki?
Sure.
Are you able to understand?
Yeah, I'm good. Actually, I'm familiar with this all commands.
Oh, you are already familiar with all these commands. Great. Okay. Raj.
Hey Shiva, I'm fine. I already know all of these commands.
Oh, okay. Then that's great. Okay. Yeah. Hansal. Hansal. Can you hear me? So virtual machine is paid version. So do we have similar free virtual machine? You're talking about VMware Workstation. The VMware Workstation is a paid version. Yeah. So VMware is a paid version. We have VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox. This one also I uploaded into the Google Drive, right? For your access. This is a free open source. You don't need any license for that. I pasted that into your training folder, Oracle VirtualBox. Okay. Hansal, are you able to hear me? Seems like there is some audio issue with him. Gopi, Bhaskar, Amit. So are you guys comfortable or feeling like complex?
The commands look fine. Actually, we have read these commands in colleges and all. So, but we need the practice in this.
Yep, yep, that's it. Just a one-day practice. Okay, that's enough. So that's why that is the assignment for tomorrow. Just practice all these commands from this PDF that I am going to share today. So just get ready. Day after tomorrow.
Siva, Amit here.
Yes, Amit.
Siva, I would be needing some help regarding some installation and other things. So,
yep.
Can we catch up later for this?
Yep, we can catch up. Before that, I